Namah Shivaya. Om 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 Namah Shivaya. Holiness is falling in love with your own self. This is true devotion. This is love. God is this love. When this love has no intent and goes nowhere but to itself, it will reveal itself to you. Whatever form you desire, manifest or unmanifest. God is this love. God is this love. God is this love. This love is God. This love is great. This love is great. When you are called by this love, rest inside your heart. For this love is pure and true. It is you. Just God is this love. this love. God is this love. This love is God. This love is you. This love is true. This love is grace. This love is grace. This love is God. This love is God. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Dev, Guru Dev Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri 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 Guruji Namaha. Shri 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 Mujiji Namaha. Great grace is always falling like rain. Grace is always falling. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Grace is always falling like rain. Grace is always falling. Shri 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 Guruji Namaha. Shri 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 Mudiji Namaha.
Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Mujiji ki Jai. Welcome everyone. Namaste. Namaste. More and more the family is coming to Bangalore now. So today we have a full house. We have Priya who arrived. Anandi is back. Azhar, Mandir, Kapil, Namba. This one is me. Suchitra. Satsang. I posted today on my timeline something I really enjoyed, which was Bhagwan saying, the one who thinks he is the doer is also the sufferer. The good news is that neither exists. What are we going to do with this now? Now that we know this, what are we going to do? You see, some of these things so simple, just in a few words, they have the potential to drop all the delusion. And very often I have said that doership is one of the strongest legs of this delusion. Because so often in satsang also we hear that I've looked and I find no person. I've looked again and again and I find no person. But does this mean that I can just let go of my responsibilities? You hear this question again and again, isn't it? And it seems very natural, but just when we look, we see the question itself is flawed, completely flawed. It is not possible. I find no person here, I find no individual entity here. Then what about my responsibilities? Who's and very often I am requested for confirmation about this non-doership. Is it okay if I just let go? Will everything be alright? If I just let go, please give me a guarantee that my life will not be a mess. As if you've done such a fabulous job of running it so far. The response that comes always is to say yes. It will be just perfect Except, don't expect it to be like your mind is saying it should. So we can say that the false doer is also the false sufferer. The imagined doer is also this imagined sufferer. But the true doer is also the one experiencer. And sometimes it is this 50-50 that gets us into trouble. You see, we let go of the doership. I no longer am the doer, but make sure that my experiences are nice. You see, so the sense that I individually am the experiencer still remains. And this is the reason why we have all these melodramatic situations, especially in India. There are also movie scenes where people go to temples and they fight with God and say, "Why are you doing this to me?" Because it's half surrender. Why are you doing this to me? You see, like this, no? There's something sweet about it. I enjoy like that. But when we look at it really just from the perspective of truth, you see that if God is the doer, then who is the experiencer? Can it be two separate? The one that is the light of all these appearances, and the one that is tasting all of these phenomenal appearances. Can those be two? So this can be one form of half surrender. The other half can be that there are some like this who take credit for all the good stuff. You see, I'm so pious, I'm so devout, I lead such a pure life, and yet God has been so unfair to me. I'm so pure, pious, devout, and yet God does not get rid of all my tendencies of anger, greed, lust. So all the good stuff I'm doing, all the bad stuff God is doing to me, seemingly bad stuff. You see all these variations. Some will take are so quick to jump to becoming guilty. And say all of this, why my anger doesn't leave me, why I'm so full of lust still. It's so quick to jump to guilt, to shame. All of these is the presumed sense of still existing as an individual entity. And the mind can use any of these to still hang on. All mind tricks. Very common mind trick is also that, yes, completely clear in Satsang. But when I go back to the real world, then it all goes. Real world. See, it's got you right there. That we can refer to this upside down world of separation, individuality, ego as the real world, and we refer to satsang as some otherworldly thing. And this has its roots in deep-rooted denial of what is real and here right now. We got so used to denying this and going with this mental projection that it has become a habit to presume that that is real, and that which is here undeniably, that we say something special or not here, I don't get it. This denial of the true self and allegiance with the imagined idea of ourselves is what is called suffering.
Master, it's very easy to speak from the perspective of the absolute,
Yes.
but can I present it from the perspective of the one who is saying all these things?
Presented from the perspective of which one?
From that devotee, which is trying to follow all the pointings of the master, which do the inquiry, which do the devotion, and is still stuck with that worship. Can I present myself to you in that way?
Yes, yes. That is the only way in which you present yourself, isn't it? You come as a seeker, as a devotee.
So how does it appear to you that uh, whatever pointing the master gives, the devotee tries to follow, and still that worship is here? What more do you expect?
No. So what happens is that the root of the master's pointing is that go one step prior to devotee. Because if the devotee tries to follow, it already means the devotee is doing what the master is saying. What is present before the devotee?
So when there is free time, then it's easy to not to believe the next thought. But when there is excessive involvement in the work, how
It will get simpler like that. It starts like that, where it seems like only in satsang I am able to let go of my thought. Then it can seem like, okay, most of the time it's okay only when there's some strong situations like work meetings or something like that, then I'm not able to give. And as it stabilizes more and more, you find that through the day, thoughts are not being picked up. It is just you are watching the flowing of whatever's happening. And you see that everything continues with its own flow. Unless we pick up the idea that I am a person now who has this practice. So we can start from here, isn't it? You say that in satsang it's okay, it's easy.
in satsang, and also when there is not much to do and there is free time, then this pointing do not leave it next thought. It is very helpful. And it is seen that whatever appears, there is the stillness in which appears. But when there is uh, tremendous demand of the situation to get involved into the activity, then the seeing is lost, and there is no other way in that situation. That seems to be the only way by
The seeing is not lost actually. It just seems like it's not the center of my attention anymore or something like that. The seeing is at the base of everything anyway. Otherwise we will not be able to report that such a situation even comes. So that is always present. But what it seems like is because I'm bombarded with so many things, that is why I get involved with my thoughts again. And you will find that as you're stabilizing more and more, you're coming to satsang, You will find that even in those situations. See, earlier, even the smallest thing could irritate us. If someone is coming to satsang, even in satsang, if someone is coming and they're asking questions that we don't agree with, or they seem like, some trivial question or something, then our mind can bother us. Now you say, when I'm in satsang, it all just flows. So already, this is starting to become more and more natural. So this naturalness will spread to the entire flow of life. And this, I know it can seem like this seeming back and forth between work and satsang or relationship and satsang. This will all integrate into your own oneness. You will not feel like, okay, work is work, satsang is satsang, other parts of life are different. One unity, you will see all of this.
Just wanted to share that it feels like to drop a thought in a stressful situation takes more time than when you are at ease. But in both cases, the time or whatever the factor needed to drop the thought is the same, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
And especially if it is it's in a high stress, the relief on dropping it is also. It's not like a laborious process that you achieve by logic, and you feel sometimes that you don't have the time to do it. So it's not context dependent.
It is not. It is not. So it's very good that you say this, because initially it can seem like it's okay to not believe thoughts when I'm in satsang, but in the world of work, in the world of relationships, in the world of expectations, how can I do without thoughts? You see, so that itself becomes a trick which the mind has played and we fall for. It is good that you say like this, that no matter what the situation is, there is no need for reliance on this mind. Because who's relying on the mind? Very practically, I'm asking this question. Not metaphorically, not something mystical. Who feels that there is a need to rely on the mind in whatever the situation might be? Nobody has found this one, because this one itself is a belief. Let's look at some question. Amaya says, often in inquiry it comes, am I one or two? Like surrendering to you, God, Sadguru, and listening to mind talk. I'm one can be seen, this can be seen that I'm one, all one. But about this, like one feels almost lonely. Maybe just exposing fear of dissolving into oneness is imagined at lonely source alone. Is this idea of one has been associated for a long time with being lonely, isolated. But as we come more and more to see this reality of this oneness, we find that this oneness is not missing anything. In fact, it is accompanied by deep contentment. And this one is that from which all of this world of duality itself is emerging. So it feels like you're so full already. It does not feel, although it is empty of concepts, empty of phenomena, but does not feel empty in that isolated, lonely way. It feels so full with itself. And from here to want something which is personal, to want something which seems because of some need about something, seems funny from here. It's like you just had a tub full of, I don't know where these examples come from, a tub full of Rocky Road ice cream or something. You have this full tub and someone then offers you some bitter gourd or some whatever, replace whatever you don't enjoy so much. You're so full. This idea of wanting then becomes like an alien concept. So even companionship we don't want. And then Amaya said, I guess it's like oneness, aware, watching the ideas of me and other, or mind listening to mind. So surrendering this imagined fear. Very good. Parvati says, hello, beloved Father and Sangha, back from retreat. So nice to hear and see you, and especially Priya. I feel very good actually these days. Maybe it's some fatherly arrogance speaking. But I feel very good because very easily I can, any question which is coming from anywhere, I can just say pass. Most of you in the table, you can just say, you will answer. It's such a beautiful unfolding for me to see in the Sangha also. Namaya says, so many are together with you. That's why it's coming up, I guess. The most important thing is there is distance felt in the heart. If there is distance felt, then we could be next to each other, yet we could be universes apart. There is no distance felt in the heart, then we already one. And what has to appear or not appear in the phenomenal realm is okay. And Maya says, with you in the one love. Yes, absolutely. Very good. So Nitya wants to come, you can come again. Hello.
Do you guys understand?
I just heard I have and then
Echo.
Echo. There's echo? Okay, I'll mute after.
I actually don't know what to say. I have the feeling something is I don't know. I believe I have a problem.
You better write it down quickly because you will forget about it very soon.
Yeah. I spoke about this urge to be with you and to speak with you, and my God, something wants to understand something, or there is something I don't see. I have no idea. It's not possible not to be with you. It's just not possible, yeah. And yet all this, what is here, is playing out, and there's in some way confusion about being and seeing. This is something is just changing. I have no idea what, but something is changing. And in this, everything is coming up. Everything. I never had before so much things going on, and yet nothing is going on. Really, nothing is going on. And yet I have this urge to speak to you. This morning it came to me. I really want to die now. I want to die now. I don't want to be one second. I cannot wait anymore. There's still too much of something here. Even if this something doesn't have really a meaning anymore in that sense. And this is what I somehow don't understand. I don't know if that makes sense.
This I want to die now in itself is also that something. That which needs to die actually never lived.
Yes. Yes.
I know there's a time and there's a space when these ideas are welcome. You see, initially when we are coming to Satsang, then we can say that this, you must die while you're alive, or something like that. You see, there's a place for this. But now you see that the imagined one never actually lived. That's why it is the imagined one. So it is only the idea of person, it's only the belief in identity which then dissolves. Which to the mind can seem like it is death. It can say, oh, you're dying, you're dying. And sometimes it also says, oh, you're not dying yet. Why? What's wrong with you? Because we hear this so often that we must die. The mind will come and say, wait, why are you not dying? Everyone else is saying I'm dying. So you can play it either way. But now, to see already that it was just imagined is the death of it.
Yes, I know that. I see it. And why necessary? I mean, it's, I, th- I, I think there's a belief, or there's this, it just should not be like that anymore when you are seeing this. And now every, yes, every single thing is coming up, and I really believe this should not be this, but I don't really believe it, but half believe something in the middle of, it's not like before. It's not. But it's still something which is which is. I don't know.
Today we have special offer. The special offer, you can burn 5 of your half beliefs. 5 special. Special offer. 5, not 1 or 2 like every day. So can you identify 5 half beliefs?
Oh. No, I really find nothing right now. There's, I cannot find anything. This would be really hard work. I think it's just this habit playing out, and yeah, I just leave everything here. I have no idea what is going on here. Really, it's everything is so different, and like really, like in a, uh, like in a cocoon. Everything is changing inside, and it's really like this somehow. Yeah, and so be it. Let's leave it like this. Let everything just be like it wants to be here. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
This is a very good example. So we say that like this cocoon, in the cocoon, the worm is saying, I'm dying, I'm dying. But what's actually happening? What happens after the cocoon? So just like this, the mind will come and say, oh, this, what's happening to you? Where's the peace? Where's the peace? The cocoon is changing. The worm inside the cocoon is changing. This is not bliss. This is painful. I have pain. I have this, I have that. And then one day you see the worm was just an idea. The cocoon was also just an idea. I have always been this. The lava. Not the worm. It's not called the silkworm.
It doesn't matter.
How was it?
Mom says the worm.
Really? So I didn't know. I have to catch my bio teacher. Not that worm, the silkworm. No, the cocoon.
That's like it's wrongly named. Because it's
Lava is
the lava.
They're not called no? The lava.
The worm is a can of worms.
Yeah, the worm is kind of.
There's no end to it.
The question does the question match your face? Should I believe the face or the question?
There's no question.
Yeah.
I kind of been struggling with the weekend pain in my chest, which like emotion, grief, and I just let it be there. And I wasn't paying attention to it apart from the times it was physically quite strong. That was also okay. But there were moments when it was like when I lose consciousness, like, and that was also okay, except in the morning. I was in a shop, in a grocery store, and I almost fainted down. So that got me and it just feels like the word that came to my mind was like because when I then went and lay down, it's like today I'm gonna get chills.
Yeah.
I can't say that it's like specific. It feels like grief and like loss. And I felt to also say because when you were saying before about disconnecting the heart with you, it just got very intense. And I don't know what it is. And I don't know what's going on. Like I'm on the verge of tears, but I got scared. And it's been okay, but I got scared and I almost fainted this morning. But also yesterday, I was sitting in the waiting room at running path.
Yeah.
And this felt like his Guruji had in the afternoon that he said a prayer for refugees.
Yeah.
That just kind of something. And I was sitting there and
Is the refugee identity still strong?
I
I
don't
remember
know.
we were watching that, or you were watching that, and this happened, and then I found you all just
Yes.
crumpled up on the sofa. Ball.
It wasn't meant, it did something
Yes.
to my that time. But when I was sitting waiting there, I was kind of, what happened is somehow I was trying to remember the story, okay, I was a refugee for whatever. And I can't quite, like if you said to me, describe a scene now from the, I can't quite
Yeah.
like grasp it.
Yes.
Where it's like the memory, somehow like the picture memories aren't so vivid, but at the same time, like there's an like it's not like the experience has told me, like it's
Yeah.
almost like it's here also. And then this kind of grief came out, like I'm saying, oh, that's my story, you know, like where is it going? So it feels very strange because it feels like I can't, just, and even now, you said, describe something. I can't picture it. Yeah, it just feels like this grief. Everything's okay except I have this aversion to passing out.
Yes.
I don't want to pass out. That was the thing that I got. And then, because you were saying about depression as well, and when that happened, it really, like, in those moments, what is that? I do something to not pass out.
Few things that I want to say about this is that the way it played out is just the way it played out. So you were a refugee for 9 years. Now the mind can do various things with just this. Okay? So one, if your mind was a certain way, it would say, I was a refugee for 9 years. I'm so grateful I survived, and I'm so happy with everything. I could be actually physically dead, or I could be living in some poverty or somewhere. That other type of mind could be the arrogant one. See, I'm a fighter. I made it. You know? I survived those 9 years as a refugee. And look at me. It can be like that arrogance. Then it could be this seeker, right? That I want freedom from my past. I want to be free from all of this, which is also mind. Although it can sound very good mind or humble mind or something like
That's
that.
what resonates.
Yeah, amongst all these options. Yeah. So it's something which is saying you're still not free from the past, but you are free from the past. Everyone is always free from the past. Nobody can ever go back to the past except in their imagination, and they make up all ideas about the past, and it's so unreliable. The past is gone. Just here, what is here right now is here. Can you find the one who was a refugee? You yourself said, I cannot even find the memories of that.
And the strange thing is, like, for people so I would describe it, like, I was almost like seeing it from the perspective of the little size me. And yesterday it was like, not seeing from that perspective. Where is that little me with my neighbor? calling out that name and almost like that. A few moments like that little picture of me was not even in the war scene. But that brought grief.
Yeah. Something.
Mourning again.
If it's brought up to leave. The mind is saying it's bringing. Actually,
No,
it's coming up
like
to
it's
go.
old.
It's old. Which is great.
Where 6 months, like around 6 days, and there's no thought that saying it should be, except physically.
Very soon you will not be able to even say, how did it start? Even the sense that this happened with me, this was the trigger. Very quickly, some grief seems to be here. How did it come? Yeah, you'll not be able to say 6 days ago, this was the trigger, I heard the word refugee. So enjoy it while it lasts. It's like at work, I had a new executive assistant. So first 2-3 days, she was like, "You work, there's no work. I'm just sitting around. There's no." I said, "Enjoy, enjoy this boredom and no work while it lasts." And then, so she's the executive assistant for my wife and I both. So today when I met her, she's like frantic. This also this. You can just change.
It's okay that passed.
Yes, yes. Even that. Have you passed out before? You can then this, like Bhagwan said, no? If this is, because he said about death, but he can say about passing out also. It's going to happen, I'm going to be around to see it. You know? What happens? Does it all become black at one instant, or does it fade out slowly? I'd be curious about it. Is it like sleep? Is it something qualitatively different? I've not had that experience of passing out ever, so I don't know how it is.
It's almost like, because I've been on the verge, like everything kind of comes like wavy and it's like disappearing. So
That sounds pretty cool. I remember when I was a kid, when I was younger, then I would never eat or drink. Eating and drinking for me has always been work. So I would never eat properly. I was very thin. So I remember when I used to be walking downstairs or something, suddenly I would have this feeling. And then just, so I remember it's a little bit round and round. So this aversion to passing out also will pass. As long as you're not driving. Yeah. Amba says I passed out once, it's quite nice.
This is like strong. I mean, I know this is the
It's like we were going on this bus together to Thiru. Yeah? And then Amba stands up and she's backwards. The driver is facing the front and she's facing us this way. And she stands up and the bus guy starts. And she's falling. You can see that she's falling. So while falling in the middle, she felt she's okay for a second. So for a second, she was, and then she fell. So a bit like that. Better.
It's a kind of a timeless
You can't-
moment, isn't it? It's a totally timeless moment when you're falling over or passing out. Everything just disappears.
I found myself another day. We were supposed to catch 4 o'clock train, and then we got up on the carpet, and we missed the train.
No, what happened? You were on the bed. You were supposed to catch a train at 4 o'clock.
We had to catch a train at
This
4 o'clock.
carpenter is what?
Passed out. But I was pissed drunk.
Okay. So you found yourself when you woke up, you missed the train and you were on the carpet.
I'm on the carpet.
And you didn't hear any alarm or nothing.
There was no alarm, nothing.
You didn't set one. Obviously you were drunk.
Obviously.
You had that also?
Because I've had that when I was in college. Passing out that, yeah, not like sober.
You had the drunk passing out. Must be the same.
But it was really nice.
It's only the I've heard this that it's only the waking up and waking up with the headache and stuff like that which is the bad part. I don't know whether the passing out is so bad.
No, it's fine.
We have a good majority here which is who has passed out drunk. It all started with Ranbir sharing his story.
So, Master, the difference between the two descriptions of passing out, path description and Ananta description. He said that when I pass out, then everything is gone. And there is no, according to what, there is no awareness also.
No.
But the one who realizes that the awareness remains always, like the Amba, he says that even when I passed out, then there was the immense love. So is this difference brought about by the realization that I am the awareness?
He said in passing out there was love?
Yeah, but I didn't realize that at the time. I just like loving it and it's not that I was there.
It is also possible that it can seem like this I amness is like it's like this lens, right? And sometimes it's contracting into itself and dissolving into awareness, and sometimes it's opening up. It's like what we say the half sleep kind of state. It could be that some sense of I amness still remains, and yet it's not fully. It's like in many nights, almost every night we have this experience. It's like the sense I am is there, and then back to no sense. Not so much about the world, thoughts also not so much. It could be one or two thoughts which get gone. So it is that we can see this I amness also. And usually when the waking is there, just there are times where it's not I am.
So, Master, with this being consciousness and bliss, that generally the driving force for the seeker, is also only in the transition from the something to the nothing which exists, but in absolute nothingness. Even this does not exist,
Yeah.
the consciousness and the bliss. So, why do you help us to realize the same?
Not for bliss.
No, but it does not matter. No? Every form will go on. Sometime it will pass. So what does this matter that some form realizes itself or not? What does this matter? The one who is awake, what does it matter to him?
Only thing that changes is that when we drop this identification with the personal identity, then we are not seemingly suffering from the stories of this one.
Yes, that's true. That's
That
the
unburdening.
way that when the identification happens.
Also, what happens is that as being gets unassociated more and more with these stories, then in the waking state, it is found that in the presence of unassociated being, automatically all of this love, joy, peace is flowing.
Yes, but the being which experiences love, joy, and all these things will also pass on. It will also die.
Yes.
One day, whatever is born is subject to death. So, why does it matter to the master?
It's just to make this what seemed like the nightmare dream seem like a happy dream. That's the only purpose.
Yes, but on the time scale of the timeless one, does it matter?
No. But this itself is seen that I am not this identified one, I am the timeless one. And to this timeless one, nothing has happened.
Then why does the master do?
This part of the play in which this identification as the time bound one Now you see yourself to be the timeless one. Everything is available in this world. You want to become stronger for the body, that is available. You want to have relationships, now you have mobile apps also which can help you with that. You want to make money, you have teachers for that also. You want to be free from this sense of identity suffering, then satsang is there.
Yes, that's true that when the de-identification happens with the mind, then as a byproduct of it, most of the suffering parts goes away. So, but one form who is suffering and the one who is not suffering, both will be making the way for
Yes.
some time, maybe 2 seconds.
Yes.
So why does it matter?
Nothing in the play matters. That's why we call it the play. If the play mattered, then we can't really use the word play. You can't say Leela. If it really mattered, then you really say Leela.
Knowing this also master involves in the play.
Huh?
Master knows this,
Yes.
but even though he involves in the play.
Yes. He's not involved personally. He's also watching just this play is going on, just like you are watching this play going on.
Master is part of the play.
Yeah, very much.
It's just part of it.
An appearance
It makes
in
no
the play.
difference
Yes.
to this. It's found here that what is when the person falls away, it's a real loss to the person.
The person
Falling away is a loss to the person. There's no gain. There's no gain for it. There's no bliss. There's no happiness. There's no nothing. It just all arises.
It seems like a most destructive process.
It's a totally destructive process. But it wouldn't. I wouldn't want it back. Yeah. So it makes no difference. Everything is this. Everything appears in this. And it is this as well. It's its own self appearing as the Leela. Yeah. Yeah. No bliss. Unless there is bliss, because sometimes there's bliss. Yeah.
Otherwise, you would not know something called this.
No.
Yeah.
That's just part of it as well. And the really nice part. I was speaking with Ananta earlier, that the character always goes towards pleasure, they can't stop that. Like you were saying about eating the nice, what it was, really nice, walking around eating the bitter good. Unless you're into bitter good, you know, you go for the pleasure. So there's always that wanting of pleasure, but for nobody. Yeah.
But how is this wanting of pleasure for the individual one?
No, you don't ask her. She says that. I was just nodding. I was just nodding.
Yes, okay. How is this wanting of pleasure and running away from the pain for the individual person is different for the one who realizes self and feeling completely blissful, approaches the other one who is identified himself with the mind and is suffering with the mind. He believes or he helps those beings to come out of that state of suffering. So in other words, he prefers the state of blissfulness over the state of suffering. So in other words, he is also not accepting what is. So in other words, he is not different with the person.
There's no one there to want or not want anything. Anything that's wanted or not wanted just appears as this. It's just what's happening. So the master is not going towards bliss because there's no one to go towards bliss. The master just sees that this is all just what is.
So the bliss is given to the one who don't want it. How is it fair?
Yeah. Wanting or not wanting is just an illusion. There's no one really who wants or doesn't want. It's just all that is playing out as wanting or not wanting. It's all the same. And that's not seen by the person because the person thinks it's real and wants to go towards something good. When really there isn't anyone to go towards anything good. It's either good or it isn't good. Makes no difference. It's all the same. It's all good. Even the bad.
But the preference that people wake up rather than continue in a stupor is not in the category of other preferences or desires.
Nisagat Maharaj himself once accepted that when he was talking about this, that desirelessness is the highest bliss, when he was talking on this topic, then once he said that when a being realizes the absolute, then I feel quite happy, or something like that. Means he feels good, or he likes the being who is identified with the person to take out from an identified state. So there is a kind of preference there, and that's why every master helps.
What I was trying to say that it is not in the realm of the other desires, like for ice cream or for a specific. It's an extremely high desire, and I don't see the need. Why
freedom is more important than Rocky Road ice cream.
But once it is seen that it is the same guy who was once desiring.
Let me say it. So this, you can see that what is happening is not, when you come with a question, it is not my intention that Azhar should become free now because of what he's hearing. What is just unfolding is just unfolding. Yes, if there's, I see that something got dropped, if this is seen here, something got dropped, then the joy is emerging here, and that is also seen. Sometimes if it is not emerging, that is also seen. Yes. These things move naturally. It's like, how does evolution happen? Is the human saying in my next generation, then the brain should be bigger? Just happening naturally. So in the sense that if I sense that this person idea has been dropped over there, it is naturally found here that some joy emerges. That's why Maharaj said that I feel happy. Nothing wrong with it. But is he having sleepless nights because those who are coming to him are not realized? Nothing like that. It's not like that. It's not a personal drive to do something.
Yeah.
Yes.
As of now,
Yeah.
the immediate is what is.
Yeah.
And yet we are groping in the dark, wanting, breaking our head for it. That is so obvious that is what is. It's also in the background. Here in the background, something comes and you go.
When you say what is, are you referring only to the content of what is? Only to the appearance of what is appearing, or to the backdrop to which it is appearing also? So only to the black dot which is on a white wall, only that black dot is, or the wall is and the dot is appearing?
No, it is just that immediate. It is a vastness.
Yes, so that is what, right now, that is what.
It's pure awareness. But
Yeah.
I is trying to, but it's not.
Okay, awareness is here. Okay, now
It's immediate, and that is what is.
yes. Okay, then
It doesn't seem to be anything else.
you cannot deny that the appearance is appearing. So the words are coming from your mouth, they are also experiences. You can say that they are not separate. You cannot deny that phenomena is phenomena.
Is this phenomena?
Yes, yes. All that is experience is phenomena.
Is Vasana is also phenomena? But
It's awareness.
it's
I mean, we can use words like spaciousness and vastness and infinite space, but is this vastness different from this vastness, this phenomenal vastness, or is it the same?
That's why I'm checking with it. I don't know. Because at this moment, the most immediate is what is,
Yes.
and there's nothing at all.
Does it have any attributes, even vastness?
You can't say vastness. It's just seamless.
Okay, very good. Now, there was a second part to your question, which was from wanting something. What was it?
And yet, when we are not there, we are groping and wanting and want to break our head to get there.
Can you leave there?
Sorry?
Can you leave there?
When the recognition comes, you can't be there.
Even when its attention is going to mind, have you left there?
No.
Not left. So
So
nothing is really happening.
I feel from here on, there's nothing that happens. Is that correct?
Yes, nothing is happening. Which includes all that is happening phenomenally. Is also nothing.
Is it pure awareness? Or is it just presence?
Don't paint any pictures in the mind. What does presence look like?
The mind is trying to come to say achieve it.
That's also seen, so let it go, it's fine. What does presence look like?
This is just a scene in Watson. I would say Watson. It's just
Is there any desire for this one?
no desire. That's the effective state.
Is there even this desire to be rid of desire?
There's no desire. Because as it is. There's nothing to look for. Nothing to add. You can't add it. Is that present or is it pure?
Can you stop being?
It always is.
And who sees that this always is?
It sees this state always.
So that which sees is awareness. That which is present, that which is present, which is being, is being. The confusion can come because this awareness can be confused to be the phenomenal scene, which is actually a function of being itself. What is the difference between?
I'm not sure it will be there the next moment. Might lose it. But
That's
actually,
why
I
you-
know theoretically by understanding that you can never lose it, but yet in the experience is not like that.
So till this sense gets completely clear that it will be there in the next moment, we keep checking over and over. So for some, to see the sun rising from the east once is enough to confirm it rises from the east. Some have to see it 10 times, some have to see it 100 times. It's completely fine to check.
But I don't know what happens when activity arises. Because
And if this stays your last problem, like even Azhar was saying earlier that when activity comes, so if this is the only problem that is remaining, then one day soon you will see that even in the midst of activity you will be able to check.
yet there is no need to check because it's obvious.
No, don't fall for that one now. Either it is that or it is this. You see, let's define it. This is what it is. Either I see clearly that I am only this and I cannot be anything else. But if the sense is coming that I'm not yet sure whether it will leave or not, then check. Then don't intellectualize it. Then don't Advaita it. So that is a trap that we can fall into. I must know, see, all the Sangha knows. Why am I not that convinced about it? This is just mind inferences. It's a joyful thing to check. No? What's wrong with it?
Joyful.
Yes.
Master, then please ask one
Yes,
question
yes.
about worship.
Yes. Doership. Yes.
The bodily father and the people of this world talk about be responsible,
Yes.
and the father of the spirit and the spiritual people says you are not the doer. So I ask the question, if the one who talks about non-duality and who says that there is no difference between the jiva and karma, how could he say that when the action happens, I am not the doer of the action? When he accepts that there is no duality at all.
That's
You
why.
understand what I mean? That when he says that there is no difference between the one who are God and the self, which is me, so how could he say that when the action happens, then I am not the doer of the action?
Yes. So usually it is seen that when there is an audience which is still identifying themselves personally, then you can say, I am not the doer. Because you see, the person itself is relying on this doership. And it must be pointed out that the person see this idea of identification gets weakened because it is seen that all is just happening on its own. Okay? Now, what happens is that if everyone around, they know that all that is being referred to is this God self, then I see no harm. I can say, and I am doing everything. I am the one doer and the one experiencer. And I am that which sees the birth and dissolution of even this inside me.
How could we accept the word?
It just flows this way. Something that this supreme intelligence which is running this play knows how to move this mouth and what needs to come from it. It's not work, just flowing. Just watching this flowing happening.
And is that supreme intelligence different than the one who realizes that only I exist?
No, there is only one supreme intelligence which is being itself.
So why does the master speaks that the self is not the doer, even though the self is identified
No,
itself
that
as a
depends
non.
on the definition of self. That's why I make it very clear about the definitions before. Otherwise, it can become a big debate. So when we say self, we are talking about awareness. In this awareness, being emerges. This being is the one doer and one experiencer. So from this perspective, we can say self is not the doer. Being is the one doer and one experiencer. Being is also part of me, just to give that clarity.
If we have to really talk about in non-dual perspective, then I must accept that I am the witness of doing and I am also the doer.
Yes,
Otherwise, how could it be non-dual?
yes, but is it helpful? In the sense it doesn't flow like that, maybe because when somebody comes and I say, I'm the non-doer and the doer, they'll say, what does that do for me? You know?
But is it good to approach the truth using a lie?
You have to approach it only using a lie. Because everything that can be spoken is a lie. Thorns, which we're using to remove other thorns and then throwing them. That's why very often I say, I don't speak the truth. What is there to say? Can I really speak about the truth?
Okay, so since I have already talked so much about the non-duality, so can I finally ask that how am I achieve this state of non-duality? Is it by inquiry or by surrendering the will?
Either or both will get you to this point where you see that there is no person that exists here anyway. Therefore, this idea of personal doership has always been just an idea, a belief, a joke. Either inquiry or devotion, all this.
So by persistent inquiry, the non-duality will come by itself.
It's only just a tip for you is that if there's doership around the inquiry itself, then what you're doing is feeding and then removing, feeding, removing, feeding. What do I do? What do I do to remove doership? You see the joke in the question itself.
But whatever attempt I make,
Right now, what is happening? Are you the doer or something?
right now I'm not doing it.
Yeah. But your house is moving, your hands are moving. Don't you see it just happening on its own?
Yes, right now in the present moment, it is going naturally, but it is not always like this. Sometimes will have to be exercised and uh, future aspirations has to be asserted.
Yes, but whose will? Have you found that one? Nobody has found. Whose will?
Yeah, even in those times when the inquiry is made, then I can't find
The
it.
individual, therefore, whose will was it?
The will of the moment.
The will of the moment, the will of being, God, whatever you want to call it. So even the play of delusion is happening through God's will. Because only He exists. Consciousness, whatever you want to call it.
How to realize it that only he exists.
When you check, what do you see? This is what I'm saying. The person we never find. And yet we hold on to the idea that I must get rid of it. When we check, we always find presences here. There's a seeing of the presence. We always check and we see this. Yeah? And then we say, but how do I realize this? You're already seeing it right now.
Okay, I don't receive what is your advice? I don't know anything. So is there anything that you would like to advise me?
Just stay in satsang. Keep up with your inquiry. It's all good. You
I had a brief think
know? Sorry, I can't resist. Trupti says, Priya Parson. Priya Parson. Priya Parson, she means. She's very honored by that compliment.
I'll just choose everybody else though. That's the only thing.
Why does that?
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying.
just wanted to share with you briefly an experience in Tiruvannamalai.
Yes.
Like normally I wake up like fully delivered kind of thing. But one day I woke up and for like
Just because I was nodding did not mean that I understood that. It's okay. I'm waiting to see what comes next.
But I woke up and there was really no idea who I was and where I was. Like for 2 minutes there was no recollection of my name even, and where I was. So there was a groping for that.
Trying to.
Yeah, like then after like about 2 minutes, the theme came Suchitra, and I am in Tiruvannamalai. And only then like I rested, but like for that time there was no identity. It was really there was search for
It seemed
something.
like something was, where are the crutches now? What's happening? Where that?
Yeah. So till that came back, there was no peace. Till the scene came back.
It's okay. Like with Thiru, actually, I've had many times where I'm not able to find the name. I'm not able to find anything at all. So, power of Bhagwan, the power of Oneness. But this also, as it would have continued, and it will maybe one day you'll have that also, which is that you'll remain just comfortable in that namelessness, labellessness.
So I didn't know what exactly I was looking for, but till the name came back, there was
the habit. This is just the habit. Yeah, it's the habit to try to pull for the name. This is good itself. Because you see that 2 minutes is possible. Itself is very good. 2 minutes to just be without name, without any identity. You know where you were, what your name was.
No, just that.
Yeah. You just were, but still you were. So then you already see that what I am, on top of this, there are some labeling which is going on.
Can I share something
Yes.
with you? Hard to talk about because I've got no words. In kind of retrospect, I see that it wasn't really the person that was seeking. It was always itself seeking itself, appearing as a seeker. And I've seen that the person who was the seeker, it's like a false being searching because it knows it's false and it feels insecure because it's not real. And anything that's not real is going to feel insecure. And it wasn't that was seeking, it was actually being seeking the breakthrough itself the whole time.
Yes, because to give the person the ability to seek something or the ability to find something would be to give it too much credit.
Yeah.
Because that which does not exist, how can it seek or find?
How can it find an end to itself? The only end to it is being waking up to itself. And then
it's just like the being is here and this identity is here and something is not feeling completely at home with this identity. It's not just this. Something is moving in that dissolution of this identity. It's the same being.
Yeah, it's the same one.
Person cannot, that's what we mean, no? That it's not the doer because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, the doer can't end its doing.
Yeah.
It's like the one thorn trying to take itself out. Can't.
It really doesn't exist.
No, it's a total dream.
Just a belief, just a idea. Sometimes, because I was saying in Satsang the other day also that because we keep saying sometimes the person did this, then the person came and did this, then the person was here so strong, then I feel sometimes we give it too much importance to just this idea. It makes it seem like there's a tangible entity called the person which comes. But it doesn't, it's just a belief. All is being done by being itself.
It's like a ghost pretending to have a body.
Yeah. Not even ghost. At least ghost you can sense energetically.
Yeah.
You can say something energetically.
Yeah.
I feel the ghost. But this, not even that.
No. Yeah. Total dream.
It's totally true.
And it's being veiling itself with
Yes.
the appearance of a person.
Exactly.
It's just amazing.
That's why it's the Leela of consciousness, of God Himself.
It's God playing with itself
Exactly.
as pretending not to be God.
Yes. Who else could play such a play? There is nobody anyway.
There's nobody to play it.
Okay. She has a question? Okay. Is the question already there or she wants to come up? Kavita, you can come, my dear.
Thank you. Father, I just want to. Is it echoing too much?
Maybe I mute while you speak so I can hear.
Yeah. So the thing is that as this identity drops, and I feel, oh, this is like a dream that's happening. The I loses the motivation to do anything. It feels like, what's the point? I mean, it's fun, but then why? It's like I might as well sit here and just enjoy being in this bliss. And then it's like, why do I need to do anything? In any case, if this is all just a joke. It's a beautiful joke, I get it, and we don't identify with what's happening. But it's just that, why should I do anything? It's coming up like, what's the meaning of all of this? So, loses that kind of edge to want to do something, or to want to get on and do, play this game kind of a thing, So I wanted to ask you, how does one get function from that space, like.
Very good, my dear. Today is Doership Day. Maybe I brought it on sharing Bhagwan's quote, but it's good we look at this. This is the mind wants to settle this way or that way. It wants to say I'm the doer, or it wants to say I'm not the doer. Yeah? So what's happening is that you see that it's all moving on its own, but the mind wants to make which conclusion? It wants to make the conclusion that what's the point of doing anything at all? Okay? And in this conclusion also, we have invented the person. Yeah? You see like this, that yes, it's a beautiful play, therefore I don't need to do anything. And whose voice is this? It's still Kavita's voice. So it can use either ends of the spectrum to convince you that you are still a person. That's why I speak of this beautiful neutrality. of neither doing nor not doing, because not doing is also a doing. I'm doing nothing is also a doing. You see? So neither activity nor passivity, neither doing nor not doing, just the neutrality of seeing everything unfold on its own. And this neutrality the mind hates because it cannot fathom it, cannot fathom this neutrality. So it hates it. So, but this doesn't answer anything. So am I the doer or not doer? It's struggling like that. And this one has to struggle and burn itself out because we're not giving answers to this one. This is just like two grown-ups are speaking and the child there is wanting to participate in the conversation is what happens with the mind, you see. So consciousness is communing with itself and the mind will keep throwing tantrums in the middle and that's fine completely. So that's why I say that when we look at doership, it is important to look from where the question is coming. If it is coming from this identity, it is coming from this place of personal doership. In that case, it is important not to get lost in the question of doership also. It is still to stay with the inquiry. Is there a person here? Who am I? When this sense of person is dissolving, then it tries to use Advaita concepts to be alive. It tries to use oneness, non-doership. It says we are all one, but with a sense of specialness. I know this specially, you see. So even all Advaita concepts then are swept aside. Whatever the mind is saying, it could be the best, almost satsang sounding words. But even that has to be let go. Our mind will say, but when I realize this, that I personally am not the doer, now I'm not doing anything, I'm just sitting around. Isn't it? It comes and says like that. Huh? But this would mean that earlier this imagined entity was actually doing something. That's not possible. It was just an idea. So it's trying to feed on your fear of becoming vegetative or non-productive. Basically a mess. Your life will be a mess. Yes.
Correct.
It's trying to feed on that fear. But if you stay with this just neutrality, because it's your own direct seeing. See, that's why I keep stressing on this. That is not some new concepts I'm giving to you. And now you must believe the concept of non-doership. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I'm saying that when you check, you don't find a person here. You see that the person was just an idea. Then how can just an idea do something?
Absolutely.
It's like saying, let's think of a person, give it some attributes in our mind, and ask that one to pick up a glass of water and give it to you. Is it possible? That's what we've been doing. I know it sounds extreme, this example, but this personal doership is exactly this. We've invented the idea of a person, and then we say this person is doing all of this.
Yes.
Not the one I imagine. It's unfolding. So give me a glass of water. So I'm saying that. And you're playing that imagine and give a glass of water. But you see what is happening. Is that the imagined one is saying, I'm the doer, and the imagined one is saying, I'm not the doer. What's going to happen to my life? It's still the voice of this imaginary one. And some fear is natural like this to come. Because without realizing, we've been living under this extremely arrogant idea that I have been running my life. And as this idea is now starting to dissolve, this identity itself is starting to dissolve, then some fear will come and say, what's going to happen to your life? And I have the answer for what's going to happen to your life. It's only going to be auspicious grace. And it always has been. Who pays the bills? The same one who's been paying them so far. You with me so far?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's amazing how, like you said, it raises its head. It's the doership, you're right, absolutely. And it doesn't appear like that. It appears like, yeah. It's, I think, like you said, the habit, the old habits. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And for a while, I know this sense can come that I don't have a plan anymore. I don't know what's happening. I don't know where I'm going. Isn't it? And the mind will come and say, this guy, he's brainwashing you. He's giving you without a plan, and you're going to mess up your life. And after a year or two, you will say, "Oh, I wish I hadn't done it." It will paint all these scary pictures for you. But that's why Guruji said, isn't it? No one, no one who has realized the self
Yeah.
has said, "I want the person back," or "I wish I'd rather spend that time making some money or something." Very good.
Thank you.
Question, how do you get that this person not from the intuition? For example, in the case of Rana Maharshi, when that experience happened, he renounced everything and went back to Arunachala. So, in case of normal being, when the identity is dissolving and one starts to enjoy the beingness itself, then one's attention from the activity and from the excessive involvement in the doing starts to withdraw and starts to merge within inside. So he don't feel motivated to be involved always in the doing. So how could you judge that it is also from the person who is itself to be the doer? How could you say?
So that which comes from intuition has a different qualitative feel to it. You can sense the presence itself in that. And it is not true that after liberation you always go into some sort of inactive state. There are many sages who are, like you see in India itself, there is so much activity. Mhm. But even they will say, I'm not doing. So it's not about the activity or the inactivity. That's what I was making clear. That once it is seen that no person exists, then it is watching the flow of whatever is moving. It could be just sitting around, or it could be lots of activity.
So according to your advice, Rana Maharshi should inquire that who wants to renounce and who wants to leave Mandar and who wants to go to Arunachala. He should inquire at that time.
No,
And
it
should not
is
go to Arunachala.
the one, only the one who is still believing that he is the doer or the person, he has to.
If things were clear, there would be no question, no? Bhagavan never asked anybody, should I go to Vipasana? Everything
Yeah,
was
but
clear.
he didn't have any master to ask me.
Huh?
He had Arunachala.
Present master.
Arunachala was a master.
Arunachala, the self was the master, so there were no questions. So, in a sense, does it mean that if there are any questions, like it still means there's something incomplete there? Because if you saw it, there would be no need. If it were completely clear,
Yeah,
there's nothing
I
to
don't
ask.
say that because then it hurts our spiritual ego to ask a question. Mhm. If I were to say yes, if you have a question means you're still deluded, then everyone says something doesn't. I still am free, but I have a question.
But master, I ask this question because I have seen that maybe in the moment, even the intuition that is coming from the death appears to be the most correct thing to do.
Yeah.
But from the genuinity of the mind, I would say that I don't really know anything. That even this could be wrong, and the master is the one who knows better than me. So I must ask his advice.
Yes.
So in that way, I ask.
I think it's two different things which we're talking about. But for what you are saying, I'm repeating that the core of what I'm saying is that there is no one there to do or not to do personally. No person there who's following the voice of intuition or thought. It is consciousness itself. And when this is clear, then the sense that which voice should I follow, which voice did Bhagwan follow, all of that, then confusion is gone. Because all of this has been just being playing this game. Anytime you invent a me, which is a person, then it can be a debate. And I've been to many uh, debates like that about doership because I used to go to them. There's no end to the doership debate from the perspective of a person.
No, I'm very sorry if it appears like a debate.
No, I'm not saying it. It's not, but I'm saying that if you look at the question of doership from the personal perspective, then it becomes a debate. The quicker, the simpler is to see that there is no person. Then whose doership are we talking about? God's? I have no problem with God's will. Ambika wanted to come, you can come. You don't want to come?
I think that
Like trouble. I'm just kidding.
I think my mind is going into a kind of seizure or something.
Yes? We should do it.
I've been watching from today, and an agitation comes up in my mind. Like at first he says this, and then he says that, and it's the complete opposite.
Take an example. I always have fun with these examples. First I said what, then I said what, which is the opposite.
I don't even know what what it's about, but I got this feeling that every day I come to satsang and I think that I get something or something, but I don't get anything.
It would be terrible if you were left with the feeling I got something. Because that would that would validate that there is something to get. Get it? That Krishna energy doesn't leave sometimes.
I am just left without words. Just because mine doesn't like this. I mean,
Imagine one day if the mind actually liked me. You can only give up on me. You cannot like me.
that just I mean, just every day thinking that, you know, oh, I got this good advice or whatever, or like I don't get anything out of this.
So I can say that all the words emerging from this voice are the truth. Nothing that has ever been spoken is true. In one sentence, and I have no trouble with that.
It's just like somewhere something is understood, but not through the mind. So the mind is going into a seizure, but at the same time, something is understood.
The entire point of satsang. To make your mind step aside, you say, I give up. You say, I cannot make any sense out of it. If I give you a consistent spiritual framework, then you would just feed on that and it would become a spiritual ego. So you will come to this seeing that these words are just appearing for the moment as they are meant to appear. But it is not in the words that satsang is. It is in what you are discovering for yourself that satsang is. And it is natural initially that we come to satsang for the word. Initially it is natural. We come to say, okay, this one seems to know something, so let me hear, I'll know something. Then it is seen that that which is being shared is beyond any mental knowing. And again, we can use something that sounds completely contradictory to the mind, and I can say that I give you nothing. Nothing I give you. And also I can say I give you the best gift possible. Which part is not true? Nothing I give you, and yet I give you the best gift possible. Both are true, and both are untrue. Just getting the mind out of the way. His mind cannot get this circular motion. See? It only understands linearity.
Yeah, I
You get that?
I completely get what you say, but this something inside here is completely losing it. Like, just you can see it also, like in my movements. Something is just running out something is going insane. And at the same time, I hear every word.
It is only that this realization is coming that the mind has always been insane. And soon you'll find great music in words like this. They say you must do the inquiry but don't become the doer. The mind has no idea what's going on. How do I do the inquiry without being the doer?
Exactly. Just so, something is heard when these words are spoken, and on another level, something is comparing and analyzing and strategizing.
Yes. This one can do whatever it wants, but actually I know already that if the words are emerging, then something must be being heard.
And so often it arises that we talked or something, and you said, this or that, and then in the mind it goes like, oh, well, what should I do with this now? And I'm making a complete analysis about it or something, and it has no use. And just mind is seizuring up all over the place. It's just
It can come like this. You're playing level 4, level 5 of Super Mario Brothers. So sensations and thoughts are coming together. Actually, nothing is happening. Just sensation, something coming, some thoughts are coming. There is no tangible entity called the mind. That which does not exist cannot even have a seizure. There's some sensation coming, body is shaking, some thought is coming saying this is all confusing. That we say the mind is something. But one thing also I must tell all of you is that I never feel that I must hide behind this thing that whatever is spoken from here is not the truth, because the truth cannot be spoken. Only when specifically when it is asked like this, do you speak the truth? I say no, no truth can be spoken. Because I'm happy that you look at it and you say, this doesn't seem right to me. This doesn't seem clear to me. This is not my scene. And I'm happy to contemplate together with you about anything and say that this is what you said, but this is what I see, and it's different. I feel we can look together.
No, but it's not. It's not like. It's not about that. I mean, I can't keep up with all of that. I mean. Running out of moves.
And mind is having a seizure. The mind saying that the mind is having a seizure is one of the last moves, hopefully. We'll see. Don't know. Yesterday I was telling someone, rather I was telling her that this is one of the last. She said, don't say this is one of the last. We don't. Always glass half full for me. This is the face of one who has no problems and now struggling to find something to be a problem. I used to say in Satsang actually earlier, maybe before you started coming, I used to say every day almost that, are you okay to have no problem at all? You'll get used to it. You must get used to it.
I don't even know what that means.
You don't know what a problem means? Or you don't know how it would be to be without a problem? That's good.
How do you know what?
You can say it's okay. How do you know that?
How do you know whether you're okay to not have a problem? How do I know that I? It's just.
Yeah. If you never had a problem ever again, you're okay with that?
I don't know.
Is there a feeling to play with some more problems before it's all over? This question is becoming a problem. Forget about it.
I don't know how to check that.
Okay, forget. Okay. Erase, rewind, delete. Because when I see this forehead starting to, contort, then I know. Have you seen actually this brings me to a very good point. When the forehead is relaxed, then we are not resisting. Have you seen this? I saw, at least here, how it operates a bit. Whenever there's some resistance, I see that something is getting. controlled. Yeah, something gets controlled. So even externally, some in the expression starts becoming visible.
That's because we believe the thoughts are originating here.
Something.
Therefore,
I just see that. Just leave it completely real. Is it possible to resist at the same time? Like Papaji said, can't laugh and believe a thought, or can't laugh and think at the same time.
But one could laugh at the thought.
Yes, that could be the origin, but once the laughter comes, then the thing you're no longer thinking. Was there a question I missed? Ambika, you're good, my dear.
I'm not.
It's like an Indian head shake. I don't know whether it's yes or no.
I feel like I'm lost, and at the same time, it's like you're not lost.
This is good. What mind message still gets your belief?
that I think it's that there's something to get, that I have to get it.
And you know that there is nothing to get.
Yes.
If there was something that you got, it would, by definition, also mean that it can be taken away from you. Because it's not original to you, it's something from the outside. If it is not original to you and something from the outside, then that also will leave. What value does it have if it's going to leave? Can't have value, you see. So, and what is original to you? Like, don't ask me this right now. My mind is having a seizure, I told you. Don't need the mind for this. No? You are here. What can take that away?
If it's not the thought that I have to get something, it's the thought that I have to get rid of something.
It's not about something at all. So, but, you can say what it is. Are you free? Yes. Can you still pretend? Yes. Can someone take away the power of pretense from you? No. Just about this. Who can succeed at getting rid of the prison which never existed? Now one day we'll have Siri Satsang. All the questions can go to Siri. Siri came on, so I think maybe one day we can have Siri Satsang.
It's just this getting it, not getting it. It's beyond these.
And if you're still enjoying the play, getting it, not getting it, then let's at least enjoy it. You're saying no more, no more. See, I'm always here. Always I am this. The truth is too obvious. That's the problem. Can you leave? Just leave. For yourself. Not from here. You can obviously turn off the hangout. But I'm saying for yourself, leave. Just leave yourself. Leave. Who can leave and show me? Just leave yourself. You cannot leave. Actually try. It's fun. Just try to leave yourself. Still here. Cannot leave. Just leave it for a minute. Still here. Cannot leave. How can you get that which you cannot leave? It's this obvious. You go running about. I'm trying to find myself. Trying to find myself. In the end, we just see this so simple. I cannot leave myself. Don't try to convince your mind. That has been the way of the past. In every interaction, we've checked back with the mind and said, what do you think about this? What do you think about this person? What do you think about my parents? What do you think about my teachers? You relied on the inferences from this mind for every interaction. But here that will not work. And you've already seen how much trouble that can cause. What do you think about this one? What do you think about this one? What do you think about this one versus this one? You've seen how much trouble that can cause. Here that cannot work. Just leave it aside. And the pointings are very simple. When I say just leave now, something hears that. And I say try to leave, try. Something hears that. I'm just here. It's the same as saying, can you stop being now? You cannot stop being. This is what you're looking for. The trouble can only be that you're waiting for the certificate from the mind. Yes, yes, you found that which you were looking for. It doesn't give that. And it's very good if it doesn't, because sometimes when it gives that, when it withdraws it, you're even in more suffering.
It's just that all of these problems that you shouldn't have these feelings with. But so what?
The problem was what one? That I shouldn't have some feeling.
That you shouldn't have thoughts or feelings or.
I don't feel it is from here this expression has ever said that.
No, you still can't leave.
Exactly. Exactly. All thoughts can come. All feelings can come. They will. In fact, I would never give that advice that this thought should not come. Instantly that thought will come. Completely effortless to be open to whatever is coming.
Just these expectations are there or something. So whatever. Forget about them.
Anything which you're not forgetting about is only going to create some misery. So either we say that I want to play with this some more and I'm open to the misery and I'm completely fine. If you're saying I don't want any more suffering, misery, then you know the medicine already, all of you.
I guess that just the only difference is that the same things are there. It's just that in one, it's just a question of whether you're suffering them or not.
And who's evaluating this now? It's just habit. Don't try to make any framework out of any of this. And I know it's uncomfortable for some time, but you'll get used to not having any spiritual framework about it. And don't pick up any idea, oh, I'm still doing it wrong. Oh, good, my dear. Sometimes I just want to say to all of you, just drop all of this trouble. I know what you are, I know what I am, it's one. You don't have to do anything at all. It's just that example, paraphrasing Bhagwan's example. You're on this train and you're still running. I say, just stop, it's okay.
I've had enough also of playing with this. Is that? But then you say you're not tired enough.
Yeah, did I tell you that?
You said something like that some time.
I'm tired of playing this game. Completely tired. And if you're completely tired, then when I say you're not tired enough, then I'm too tired to hear this one.
I, but
Okay, let's keep it very simple. Just don't believe your next thought and tell me what trouble there is.
I mean, we come to this conclusion again and again that you can't have a problem unless you believe your next thought.
Conclusion is also thought.
Just all of this is about what it says about me.
even the truest sounding thought, let them go. Okay, all of us, for 10 minutes. The most well-dressed thoughts, the most horrendous thoughts, just allow them to come and to go. Some will get your belief. Don't believe the next one. Nothing to be done about anything at all. Leave everything free. Oh, the time starts now.
Can I come?
After 10 minutes, my dear, we're just doing this for 10 minutes. If you're not believing, the next thought.
Father?
Hmm?
Hi, Father.
Hello, my dear. You want to do this for 10 minutes?
Oh, sorry, I just wanted to tell you that, can't see me. Yeah, I just had a conversation with a Buddhist Lama, and I told him about the don't believe your next thought. He thought that was great. I left earlier because I had a telcon scheduled with him. It's, someone who is another guru who he's helped me a ton over the years, but I've never met him in person. We speak on the phone and write. You know, I haven't spoken to him for 2 years, but I had this one question that's been bugging me about the differences in what gets taught anyway, or what I understood in Buddhism and what my seeing is, and that's about, you know, the impermanence and the emptiness, and then what we come to in this ground of being, you know, this awareness, or whatever you want to call it, that just seems permanent, you know, that is always there. And so we had a nice conversation about that, and he cleared it up for me, because it was he said, what we mean by all this is just, it's not solid, this is not sleaze, that it's not a thing.
Not phenomenal.
I just went, oh, okay. And he said, that was a really good question. He says, your practice is really good. I said, oh, thank you, Lama. But I was telling him about this, about what we do, and I said how great, how helpful it is to have every day, every single day. You know, I said, because you know how, you know, the mind will start telling you, oh, it can't be this easy, it can't be this simple, I don't have it, you know, blah blah blah. And he thought that was really good. Yeah, he said, yeah, it's really good that you can do that. but it cleared up. That conversation just in a few minutes cleared up a ton of what I thought was confusion, which wasn't at all. I mean, there was nothing to be confused. It's like he said, you know, mine says, I'm confused. You say, you can't find confused. Where's confused? I said, yeah, and you can't find the eye that's confused either. It's not there. And it gave me so much more confidence. It really, I feel so blessed and so grateful for you for this. So, thank you so much.
Very beautiful. This is how grace moves. Because it can be that somewhere the mind is playing some tricks and saying, but the Buddha said this, and now we're seeing this, and this is what my seeing is. And this just something unfolds in a beautiful conversation like Soham had. All that impermanence, all that everything goes, we are talking about that which is phenomenal. And just in that, it's like, oh, okay, that completely is exactly what I see as well. So then confusion gone, separation gone. Okay, let me do a quick poll today. How many of you still feel, and just whatever is coming up with integrity you can say, still feel that it is impossible, difficult, not there yet for me not to believe my next thought? How many of you still feel it is either impossible, difficult, or I am not there yet at that point where I can't believe my next thought? You can tell me from YouTube also. Some. Okay. Satsanga said some. Ambika also had raised her hand. So is it some, most, all? Neil also says. Neil also says? Okay. Nick says some on and off. Shanti says totally there. Totally there meaning it's completely possible not to believe. Shakti says simple to not believe the next thought. Father, Dennis says the problem is forgetting of not believing the next thought. Okay. Tarun says it's possible not to believe. Okay, very good. Maria says I feel like a sensation, not a thought. Sensation that I believe. Okay, this one is very easy. Can you believe a sensation? Sensation is there, no label, no thought about the sensation. Is there something to believe in that? It can just be seen, it can just be experienced. Belief can apply only to a concept. Not possible to not believe or to believe a non-concept. Nick says even this is seen actually. Yes, everything in the play is seen. And this is also part of the play. We're just speaking of within the play to see whether consciousness has this power to give belief or not. Is it a super yogic siddhi which was given to me by my master, or is it just as natural as I'm saying it is? Yes.
There are things, thoughts produce, they're not coming as much as we think. Sometimes, but it is also saying it's into think,
Yeah.
into think,
Yeah.
and then you wake up.
Yes. So this is good. So he says that I find that the number of thoughts themselves seem to be reducing, but there are still times where I see that there is this processing, munching on these thoughts that happen. So this, yes, but it's always about the now. So all of you who are saying, like when Dennis said, it's about, I forget not to believe, and many were nodding in agreement about that. It's not about the past. Just when it comes, not to believe the next thought, just about that now is the end of suffering. This now is the end of suffering. For the now. And we are only in the now. So even this thought in the now that I always keep forgetting not to believe my thought, even this don't believe. You see, because the mind can be tricky this way. And now, just about now, it will start saying, oh, this is now getting confusing or abstract. It's not. It's very simple. All that I'm saying is, right now, don't believe the next thought. The second question was, most of my thoughts are okay. Satsanga was saying, most can come and go. It is these some special ones that still remain. And we looked at that and said, these special ones we must pull into our inquiry and look at the identity to which they are speaking. Seeker identity, relationship identity, which one? Find this one. Who is the seeker? And inquire, inquire, inquire till it becomes laughable. The seeker concept becomes laughable.
Master, can I about
Yeah.
mind?
Yes,
Uh,
going.
what I feel is that it is not in my hand. It is simply the power of grace that when it wants me to not believe the thought, it brings me in contact with the master, brings me in contact with the Sangha. It creates life situation in such a way that for me to go into the mind state would be so painful that I would come back again into the state of presence. So I see that it all belongs to the power of God. So I can humbly remain. I can only try what I can do, but really I cannot say anything.
Yes. This power of belief only belongs to consciousness. The personal I can have no role to play in this. It has no, it itself is a belief. It cannot have the power.
Sometimes even in solitude, there is a lot of noise inside, and sometimes even amidst the light of
Outside noise.
outside noise, movement, means everything is going like a like a marathon is happening, and then suddenly the stillness comes. So if there is something that I would say that it belongs, it is only in the hand of God.
Yes, completely. Only in the hand of God. And this is God reintroducing himself to himself. Then somewhat like you were saying, to refer it to yourself personally will also seem like so much effort. Doesn't mean that we will be going around saying, I'm God. Usually not for naturally. So it's God has no need to be arrogant about himself. So when it is just unfolding and everything is God, you find that when work situation is there, then oh yes, this line of code has this problem, can we fix anything? It can play like that. Then it is seen that we are speaking from this place of presence, and we can speak as presence. Then this comes that speaking about that place which is truly unspeakable, then some words are attempted even about that. Oh, clear. How it plays.
Namaste, Father. May I come in?
Namaste, my dear.
Um, I've been wanting to see you for a long time, but it just wasn't happening. Today's my lucky day that at least I could get to see you, and I can't wait to be with you in Tiru. Uh, Actually, I've been struggling with my mind a lot because, like your instruction that don't believe your next thought. To be honest with you, I never in my entire life, even till date, I don't know what is the difference between the I of mind and the I of self. So when you say don't believe your next thought, my mind actually starts working. Hey, I need to start looking at the thoughts. Hey, I should not be believing this thought. You see, there's like constant chaos going on in my head and I just don't know how to disengage from it. Could you please comment on that?
Yes, happy to look at that. Just right now, allow thoughts to come. Allow attention also to go to them. It's completely fine. So thought is coming that I am 7 feet tall. Attention is going to it. But just because attention has gone to it, does it get your belief? You see? So you find that there is this force of belief which gives meaning to this, which is just energy which is arising. What is happening for you is that the mind itself is coming, pretending to be your ally in this. And saying, Ananta is saying this, okay, don't believe the next thought, okay, this is what we will do together now. Let's see how I can do this. So it's already got you in thoughts, you see. You're already believing all of this. You're believing it's a friend trying to help you. But actually, it's just now. Don't believe your next thought. Allow it to come, but don't believe it.
Now, other thing I found, Guruji, is that, if I just...
Because this is something good, you see. So let's stay with this for some time and we'll come to the
Okay.
next
one. Okay.
Is this good now? When I say don't believe your next thought, can we stay with that for a minute and see that it's very natural?
And that's what I want to comment on, that when I just be right without doing anything, I just relax and just be in that space of aliveness, which is like my natural sense that I'm alive, right? When I stay in that space and say, hey, whatever happens in the world, I'm not gonna care, then in that space, it's easy to let thoughts come and go, right? But if I somehow get engaged that I don't want to believe my next thought, then boom, it's gone. I'm like constantly mentally kind of trying to figure this thing out. So but when I try to stay in the space and let everything come and go, then I kind of feel that I'm not doing anything, I'm just being inactive. It's just like I'm being lazy kind of thing. So is it like that the natural sense of aliveness, or I'm kind of alive feeling, just stay as that and let whatever happens in the world, if the whole world burns down, you don't care, just stay calmly in that? Is that what you're meaning?
Yes, yes. In fact, we've spoken a lot about this today in today's satsang. So I'll share something here, but also If this question is alive for you, you must watch today's satsang from the beginning, because we've been looking at this doership, all of these concepts that I feel lazy, I'm not doing anything. We've looked at that today. So you can have a look at
Excellent.
them also at today. But very simply, what has been happening is that the imagined idea I had about myself has claimed to be the doer which has been doing all of this. It means that I came up with this idea that I am this person, and now everything that is moving through this body, through the mind, I give it the belief that it is this person that is doing this. But what is happening in the self-inquiry is that we see that no person like this exists. Then what is here now? What is here right now is this presence which you speak of. Is there anyone else here? There's only this one. You see? In every moment, there is only this one. Therefore, this one must be the doer. This presence, this consciousness itself must be the doer. And who is the experiencer? The same. All is experienced by this presence which is here right now. So we've been giving credit to this imagined entity, but now we see that it was just my imagination. Then the mind will come and say, okay, this means that I don't need to do anything at all, so I'll become lazy. I can just sit around all day. Yeah? Who's going to pay my bills? And it seems like very valid questions, but actually what is being said by the mind is totally arrogant. Totally arrogant. Because what it is claiming is that there is an entity here which has been in control of our life. But what has been discovered even by science is that everything is interconnected. See? Every atom which is moving is having an energetic impact on every other atom. So what is being conveyed by the mind is that I, the imagined ego, is impacting the entire universe. Because I have the power of this free will. But what has been seen very directly here now is that this one doesn't have any existence at all, not even at the realm of atoms and molecules. So it's only been an idea. So who has been running this universe? It is the same presence. That's why I say, which committee decided that gravity will work with this force? Which committee decided that the speed of light will be this constant? There is a supreme intelligence which is doing all of this. Designed the genetic structure, did all of this, electricity, gravity, light, speed, sound, all of this has happened. All this universe with trillions of planets, all moving. But my life, no, this it cannot run. It's going to make a mess out of my life. And this me I cannot find. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And I think when we were in Rishikesh, I think you made it very clear to me. So it's very clear to me that this me does not exist. But I could never identify what my real place is. You know, I mean, I completely agree, and in every way it makes sense what you said, and I completely buy into that. But it's just I have not been able to find my real self. So what's real me? See, that's where I'm kind of getting hung up. But I think, like you said, the presence is that's all there is, and everything is kind of happening in this presence, right? So, and I kind of sense this presence though, so I have to be something other than presence. Is that true?
This is good. So, just concluding on what we were sharing. So, if it is completely clear to you that me does not exist, then there cannot be a me which can become lazy. There cannot be a me which can be irresponsible. There cannot be a me which is very responsible also. There is no me. Therefore, all attributes about the me we must forget about.
Yes.
So this first is here. Then, so just like this we say, isn't it? That first question is that how do I come to the end of suffering? Come to the end of suffering by seeing that I am not the ego, I am not separate. How do I see that I am not the ego? By not believing the next thought. By not believing the next thought. See, is the end of suffering. Then a question can emerge which says, but what am I? Okay, suffering is gone because I'm not believing my next thought. But what am I? What is this God thing that you speak about? So I say, can you stop being now? Can you just stop being? Cannot stop being. This is clear? Clear? That which cannot stop being, that is which is being right now, that is consciousness, that is being itself, that is God, that is Atma. This is clear?
Yes.
Presence? Very good. Then you say, but you say that there is the absolute, the self, which is aware even of the presence. I cannot find myself to be this. Isn't it? The final confusion, so to speak,
Yes.
this one. That I sense the presence. You say that there is this absolute, the self, which is aware even of presence. But already you are saying that I can sense the presence. This I, which can sense the presence, is awareness. So another way to ask you is, and we've done this on chat, if I remember, on WhatsApp, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken.
Yes.
Another way to ask you is to say, are you aware now?
Yes.
You are aware now. Therefore, you know that there is something called awareness. Otherwise, you could not say, I'm aware. You cannot define it, maybe. You cannot give an attribute about it. But you know that there is something called awareness.
So basically, awareness is more like the smell. So you can see that it's present, but there's no way to directly see it, right? So it's an indirect conclusion in a way that, yeah, since I'm aware, there must be awareness. Is that true?
For the mind, it can seem like that. But let's look at it together a little more. You say that awareness is here, and that which knows awareness is here, is that separate from awareness? From seeing, not from our inference.
No. No. It's the awareness pretty much knowing itself that I'm aware and coming back and saying, and mind coming out and reporting that, yeah, yeah, I'm aware. So it's basically the awareness is the one who sees it and kind of says, yes, I'm here, kind of thing.
Yeah. So this awareness, does it have any separation from you, any distance from you?
No.
Are there any boundaries between you and this awareness?
that is kind of where my, I think, rough spot is, where like I don't think that I'm the awareness, because I think the one that's speaking that about awareness is different than the awareness, right? So it's like one of the things Guruji says, that the one who speaks doesn't see, and one who sees doesn't speak. So it's kind of all getting mixed up in there.
Okay. So don't worry about what is being spoken through the mouth. Don't worry about that. Just confirm the seeing for now, and we'll look at the reporting and the speaking part later. Okay. So awareness is here. Do you find any separation between yourself and this awareness?
To be honest with you, I don't even know who am I. So, I mean, I'm not the mind who is talking inside. I'm not this body, and it's not clear that I'm the awareness. Awareness is there. It's just happening. Everything is being
Okay.
heard or seen automatically.
Let's forget about the word awareness. Presence is perceived by who?
It's just perceived. I don't know who's perceiving it, to be honest.
Yes, but can you deny that you are perceiving it?
See,
It's some,
when I say I'm perceiving it, Father, then I kind of get into that duality again. Then mind kind of takes over that, hey, you know what? I've been telling you that I've been perceiving it.
yes,
So,
what's happening now is you are listening to two teachers at the same time. You're hearing something coming from here, and also you're hearing something coming from there, and it's becoming a mash inside over there.
yeah. And I've been wanting to fire this teacher for a long time, but it's not going away. I don't know why.
So, just like a child, without coming to any conclusions about anything, without any inferences about anything, just stay with what I'm asking you. And even if the mind is jumping around with some tantrum, some question, some advice, some report on what happens to you, let it come and go. Don't be concerned. So my question to you was, you say that presence is here. Is it your direct experience, or is it from somebody else who's reporting their presence is here?
My direct experience.
Direct. So there is one who experiences the presence. Can you separate from this one?
No.
Don't have any label about this one. But you perceive that presence is here. This one that perceives that presence is here, what does this one look like?
Nothing. It
And yet
doesn't
it is
look like
here.
anything.
And yet it is here because it perceives the presence. Isn't it? Now keep this aside. Just throw it away. This perceiving. Just put it aside. Can you do it?
I cannot put the perceiving aside, no.
Just see where you are in relation to this perceiving.
You know, I think what I'm sensing inside is that I'm different than the voice that's talking, that, I'm perceiving it or whatever. That's different. But basically, perceiving is kind of what my real thing is. But that voice kind of comes in and, tries to mess up everything.
Yes, obviously, that's the job of that voice.
Yes.
The one that is designed to keep you in the personal delusion will not change its colors, will not give you the freedom certificate. What do you see yourself from where we walk together so far? I see that already the seeing is happening. It's just that some part there, something there is wanting a mental certificate of some sort.
Yes. Yes. And again, that's part of the control freak nature, that's our conditioning all along.
This part will calm down as you just remain in this inquiry, remain in this not believing. There's great power in these words. It is not run of the mill to be able to say that I am aware of my presence. I am aware of my presence. My blessing is that no mouths where these words have been uttered, that expression, may they never feel again that they are deluded by this idea of being a person. I am aware of my presence. Stay with this. And all the seeming problems, which the mind is saying are problems, will lose their power more and more.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. And one last point I would like to make, basically the awareness or basically our power to perceive is quiet, right? It happens automatically, doesn't speak anything. And mind is such a crooked guy, he takes advantage of awareness is inability to speak and say, hey, I did it or I see it. You see what I'm saying? And that's how this whole confusion. So we kind of think, hey, this guy is talking. It's like we believe him, right? Because he's saying he did it. But he's a crook. He's not doing anything. He's taking credit for somebody else's work and kind of appearing it to be him doing it. So it's the whole kind of confusion and the joke or whatever you may call it. It's such a chaos. But beautiful pointings, beautiful. Thank you so much. Again, thank you for your compassion and love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's okay. Just that, remember that the mind is also part of the play which is being designed by consciousness itself. Not to get too friendly with it because I said that, okay? Can we have a song before we close? Because Kriya is also here. Such a lot of singles here. You didn't get your guitar.
No, they wanted to charge me lots of money to bring it.
Oh, really?
If anyone has one.
Won't have it. You can ask.
You can give it to me. I'm jet.
All of us.
This one. I need to sing to Doer because it really reminds me of my name. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. 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 Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai 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 Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Hari Bol, 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 Hari Bol. Hari Bol, 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 Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai 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 Jai Radha Ramana
Hari Bol, Jai Jai Radha, Hari Bol, Jai Jai Radha, Hari Bol, Jai Jai Radha, Hari Bol. Krishna, Krishna, Govinda, Gopala, Hari Om, Namo Narayana, Hari Om, Govinda, Namo Narayana, Gopala, Namo Narayana, Namo Krishna, Krishna, Govinda, Gopala, Hari Om, Namo Narayana, Hari Om, Govinda, Namo Narayana, Gopala, Namo Narayana, Namo Krishna, Krishna, Govinda, Gopala, Hari Om, Namo Narayana, Hari Om, Govinda, Namo Narayana, Gopala, Namo Narayana, Namo Krishna, Krishna, Govinda, Gopala, Hari Om, Namo Narayana, Hari Om, Govinda, Namo Narayana, Gopala, Namo Narayana, Namo Krishna, Krishna, Govinda Gopala Hari Om. Namo Narayana Hari Om. Govinda Namo Narayana Gopala Namo Narayana Namo Krishna Krishna Govinda Gopala Hari Om. Namo Narayana Hari Om. Govinda Namo Narayana Gopala Namo Narayana Namo Krishna Krishna Govinda Gopala Hari Om. Namo Narayana Hari Om. Govinda Namo Narayana Gopala Namo Narayana Namo Krishna Krishna Govinda Gopala Hari Om. Namo Narayana Hari Om. Govinda Namo Narayana Gopala Namo Narayana Namo Krishna Krishna. घर घर ठाकुर तुलसी पूजा घर घर ठाकुर तुलसी पूजा दर्शन गोविंद जी को दर्शन गोविंद जी को आली मोहे लागे वृंदावन को आली मोहे लागे वृंदावन निर्मल नीर बहते जमुना को निर्मल नीर बहते जमुना को भोजन दूध दही को भोजन दूध दही को आली मोहे लागे वृंदावन आली मोहे लागे वृंदावन को रतन सिंहासन आप विराजे रतन सिंहासन
आप विराजे मुकुट धरे तुलसी को, मुकुट धरे तुलसी को, आई मोहे लागे वृंदावन को, आई मोहे लागे वृंदावन को। कुंजन कुंजन फिरत राधिका, कुंजन कुंजन फिरत राधिका, शब्द सुने मुरली को, शब्द सुने मुरली को, आई मोहे लागे वृंदावन को, आई मोहे लागे वृंदावन को। मीरा कहे प्रभु गिरिधर नागर, मीरा कहे प्रभु गिरिधर नागर, भजन बिना सब फीको, भजन बिना सब फीको, आले मोहे लागे वृंदावन को, आई मोहे लागे वृंदावन।
Thank you also very much for being in Satsang today. Guru Srimati Ji ki Jai.
Sadhguru Shri Ananta Ji ki
Right.
Jai, Jai, Jai.
Good mother.